Hi everybody, my name is Sobi. I'm a large consumer of coffee and I'm also a professional scuba instructor. Welcome to my channel. Are you maybe one of those people that think scuba diving is difficult or dangerous? Just keep on watching, I will tell you why it isn't. Usually when I say I'm a diver, one of the standard reactions I get is, isn't that dangerous? It must be very difficult. Actually, it isn't. I think maybe this reaction comes forward out of people's own unfamiliarity with the sea. Not everybody is lucky enough to have the opportunity to be in the sea all the time or on the sea, so when they go to the sea, it just happens a few times a year. When you experience something not that often, you may have preconceptions that are not really based on fact. So let's go over why scuba diving is neither difficult nor dangerous. So getting your scuba license is actually pretty easy. You either get online and find a dive center that's close to where you live, or you try and get your scuba license at your holiday destinations, like a lot of people do here. Your scuba course will consist of a theoretical part, of which you get quizzed and you get a little exam. Then there's a practicing part in easy and a safe water condition, let's call it like that. Then you have to show that everything you've learned you can now apply in an open water condition. Alright, I hear you thinking, quiz, exam, stress. Don't worry, nobody ever failed the scuba exam. Not because we cheat, but it isn't that hard. Hey Alex, is this exam difficult?
Not too bad.
You seriously do not need to be a rocket scientist or have a university degree to pass this exam. So now you have your license and it's time to go diving. Is scuba diving difficult? Actually, no. When we speak about recreational scuba diving, in my opinion, it's not difficult at all. Scuba diving is like anything else. You get good at it when you keep doing it over and over and over and over. Okay then, is scuba diving dangerous? Again, I'd have to say no. I don't think recreational scuba diving is dangerous. Of course, there is a risk. We are not fish. We humans are not made to breathe underwater, so therefore we use a trick, and this trick comes with risk. But these days everything comes at a risk, even crossing the street. This is why we still look to the left and to the right before we cross. Every time you go diving, the dive center or the people on the dive boat, they will make you sign a liability release and an assumption of risk agreement. With this, you're basically saying, hey, I'm a certified diver, I assume all risk, and I know what to do underwater. It's on me. There are a few things that will increase the risk of you having a scuba diving incident. So let's go over those. I think there's an increased risk of a scuba incident when people do not take what they are doing serious. If you are very nonchalant about the whole thing, this means you're not focused and you're not paying attention, and it will leave you wide open for unexpected things to happen that you then cannot respond to. Another reason, in my opinion, why scuba diving could become dangerous is when people dive above their skill level or outside of their comfort zone. So let's say you just have your license and you go diving with a bunch of mates who've already been diving for a very long time. It could be you end up in a situation where you're not completely comfortable with. The sea is different than you practice in your course. The weather conditions are different. Everybody is telling all these, tough man stories. Not everybody at that point can say, you know what, I'm not feeling comfortable with this dive, I'm gonna sit it out. When you are struggling and when you are anxious in your head, this anxiousness can turn into panic in a heartbeat. When equipment is faulty or not working properly, it's basically just a matter of time before it stops working completely. Best this doesn't happen to you underwater. So if you have equipment that's not functioning properly, just have it repaired, and if you don't want to have it repaired, rent gear that works. Another thing is like when people don't get to dive a lot and they spend all winter collecting all sorts of stuff from eBay, or they go to the dive fair and they get all these cool gadgets and gimmicks and whatever. Then it's time to go diving. Do a test dive in a safe environment before you go out on a proper dive with new gear. This way you know exactly how everything functions. So if you need to deploy anything in case of emergency, you're not looking for it, you're not stressing, there's no anxiety. Hence, no panic. Another reason, and I mentioned this last, but it's maybe one of the most important reasons why scuba incidents happen, is because people do not keep up with their basic skills. Not everybody is lucky as me to dive every day, basically all day. As I said before, you get good at diving by doing it often. Then stuff just becomes sort of muscle memory and it just goes. So if you don't have the chance to get a lot in the water, just update and refresh your skills. Everybody gets rusty at stuff they don't do a lot, so there's really no shame in that. PADI has a great program called Reactivate. It's especially for divers who've been out of the water for a while. But you can also ask your instructor or any dive center, hey, before we go out on this dive, can I book a refresher dive? So you're all refreshed and new before you head out on that proper dive. So these were my reasons why scuba diving isn't difficult nor dangerous. If you have any other reasons you would like to add, just drop them in the comments. I'll be sure to read them. And I hope this helped you convince it isn't difficult and it isn't dangerous. So now all you have to do is start diving. Thank you very much for watching and I hope to see you next time. Ciao!